What's up, guys? Back with another video. Welcome to Nimble Minds Talks of Self and Spirituality, where we talk about different philosophies and also spirituality, and a place where all are welcome. So before I get started with this video, I do want to go ahead and say, when it comes to Freemasonry, when it comes to any of the secret societies, any groups like that, I am not involved, never have been, me myself personally. So in future videos, if you see me and I'm making the video, anything I'm doing, there is no intention to be throwing any secret messages or secret codes, no devil worship, none of that. I just want to let that be known when I'm breaking down things. And especially because in this video, there's a quick little sketch I did of a pyramid, and I'm going to be using that drawing to help me in the conversation we're going to be having. So when we're having that conversation, just understand, I am not associated with any secret societies, and there is no devil worship, anything like that. We are not with that. Only God first. That is it. No devil worship, God first. All right, so in this video, we're going to be talking about the 7 chakras, and we're going to be talking about the root chakra. And I'm also going to be having an image on the screen, so I'm going to go ahead and get that up. And then after that image, I will display my quick sketch, and then I will explain the meaning of the sketch. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so this is the diagram. So first, as you guys can see, the thing that we're going to be focused on in this video, which is the only thing that is currently labeled on the screen, is the root chakra. And you guys can see that it is the chakra at the bottom. It is the base of everything, as it is called the root chakra. So what is the root chakra responsible for, and why is the root chakra important? So first, the root chakra is responsible for the rest of the chakra, in the sense that it's the root. It's the thing that everything is built off of. It allows us to build the security, the stability in our mental and our physical as well. Okay, well, if that's what it does, then why is it important? The reason that the root chakra is important is because that's what it allows. If you don't have control of the root chakra, if you're not nurturing the root chakra, then the other chakras, as it is the base that it is built on, the root chakra, the other chakras will either crumble or they will be unstable. So what are ways that you can cultivate this root chakra? Well, the main point, semen retention. Well, why that? Because that is the root chakra. That is the seed. What do roots even sprout from? They sprout from seeds. That's why it's important to maintain your seed, to cultivate that energy. Not only just sit around and cultivate it, but do things that are beneficial to your body and your mental as well, such as read. If you're a person who's on your phone often, which is, hey, I'm on my phone pretty often, then try to watch videos that are helpful, that help your mental. For me, I also watch other content creators that talk about semen retention. Not only that, but I watch other motivational content about people that are out there living their lives, people that are out there getting after it and doing the things that they want to do to get what they want out of life. And that does act as a positive reinforcement for me. So that's one thing you can do as well. But retain the seed. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up my my quick sketch to show you why it is important to maintain your seed and the meaning and what it can do for you. All right, so here is my sketch. So what does this sketch represent, and what does it mean? Well, what is it? So we can see here that there is 7 levels, and I drew this so it would line up with the 7 chakras that are in the other diagram that we went over. So we can see at each level there is these squiggly lines, and those are wavelengths, like your frequency, your energy. So at the first level, that is a wavelength, but it's very loose. It's very stretched, the wavelength. And that represents your energy when you are constantly releasing your seed, constantly releasing your energy. Because not only is it that one area of your life, and you may say, hey, I'm just releasing, it's not a big deal. Well, I would beg to differ, because it will impact not only that aspect of your life that you're constantly releasing, so you have less energy, and you have that post release clarity where you're like, dang, why did I do that? But then it translates into other areas of your life. So if you don't have control of your seed, you will not have control of other areas of your life. So you'll see that you'll struggle with interactions with people. You may struggle mentally with yourself, mental battles. I can tell you from my own experience that constantly releasing and being in that lower state of lust and pleasure has led me down paths that, hey, maybe not the best, but I definitely learned a lot. And I'm grateful that I've had those experiences. But I can tell you from experience that constantly being in that state of lust, because that's what releasing is, you're lusting. You want to feel pleasure. You want this quick release. And maybe not even quick. You just want this pleasurable experience. So what do? You watch the hub, or you go sleep with somebody, or so you can fulfill that desire. But that can be dangerous, because it can, as we saw in the other diagram, it could destabilize your whole structure, as it is the root chakra. Your seed, your semen is the root chakra, so it can destabilize you. That's why it's important to not only retain, but practice control of your thoughts, practice control of you while you are also retaining. Is it hard? Yes. Will it be difficult? Yes. Will you fail? Yes. Have I failed? Yes. And I have, from my own experience, relapsed multiple times. Currently, I am on day 23. Day 23 right now. And it's crazy, but I'm being honest. This is the longest I have ever went without releasing since I found out about what you call it, corn was, and things like that. This is the longest I have consciously made the decision to have control over that part of myself. This is the longest I have went. That's just the truth. But it is what it is. You have to come to a point where you're going to be like, hey, enough is enough. You have to make the change for the better. So let's get back into the diagram. So we can see at that first level, after you're constantly releasing, your energy is all over the place. But as you guys can see with this pyramid drawing, this triangle drawing, as you maintain the seed, as you cultivate the seed, as you stop releasing, as you gain more control over yourself, your thoughts, and you start to have that mental clarity of who and who's around you, who should be around you, who shouldn't be around you. Not just that, but the type of energy they carry, your energy will start to become stronger. And this is actually I'm not going to say principle or law, but in math, this is a thing. With wavelengths, the shorter the wavelengths, the more close they are together, the more energy they have. So when this wavelength at the bottom is actually the weakest wavelength, because it's the most dispersed after you release. But as you maintain control, as you maintain and retain, your energy will start to cultivate. Your energy will start to charge. It will start to build. It will start to become stronger. And eventually, it will reach the top of this pyramid. Like I said, I'm not a part of any secret organization, nothing like that. Just giving my truths here. No devil worship, God first. But as you guys can see, as the energy starts to come closer together, you will eventually reach the top. And why did I draw the sun? Because the sun is the closest star to Earth this closest star of Earth. And it's a very powerful, it has lots of energy. We can feel the energy from the sun, that heat energy. That's why it's at the top, because you will start to recharge. You will literally become the charge if you retain the seed and have control over your seed. Also, if you guys have been looking at this sketch, this image, this diagram, you can see that I also drew two arrows on the side that are separate from each other, and then they slowly, as you retain, as you start to nurture this energy, your seed inside of you, those arrows start to come together, and eventually at the apex they are going to touch at the sun. So what does this mean? The same thing with the arrows at the base. When you're constantly releasing, when you're constantly in that lustful mindset, when you're constantly in those pleasures of the flesh, what happens? You start to separate from yourself. That's what this is. You're starting to separate from yourself. That's what those arrows represent. And the more you release, the more you do not have control over the lust, your pleasures, your desires, your greed, whatever the 7 deadly sins are, the 7 chakras, whatever it is, you will start to separate yourself. You will start to become unrecognizable to yourself. Why? Because you're constantly at a depletion. You're constantly at a lack of, because of your seed, because of your own choice. And as you retain, what happens? Those energies, those wavelengths inside of you, those frequencies. Remember how we talked about before, this, I'm not making this up. Wavelengths that are shorter, closer together, have more energy. They have more potential. The farther the wavelengths are, the weaker they are, the less potential they have. You're making yourself weaker every time you release. You're giving yourself less potential. If you want the most potential out of yourself, out of life, you have to retain the seed, the vital energy that gives life, which is your life force. You have to retain it. And it is hard. It will be a struggle, but it is worth it, because you can gain control over not only the lust, but yourself. Not only the lust, but also yourself. You will have more control. So who's ever watching, retain the seed. And not only just to retain, not just because, oh, it's just some mythical, no, but because it's deeper than that. There's actually meaning with retaining. You're getting rid of those desires, and not just getting rid of, but you're having control over the desires. Because lust is a gateway. How people talk about gateway drugs. Well, let's talk about lust. That's a drug, and that's a gateway drug to the rest of the sins, lust. Because then what do after you lust? Well, now you lowered your frequency. Now you're in a lower mindset. So then you will fall to the gossip. Then you will fall to the talking behind people's back. Then you will fall to not being true to yourself. Then you will fall to the devil worship. Then you will fall to people in your ear telling you that you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't believe in yourself, you're this, when you're really not those things. But because you were in that constant set mindset, at a depletion, releasing, not retaining your energy, going after the first girl you see, the first cat you see, the first anything, now you're becoming that frequency, that low frequency. Now you're operating, but among the sin. Demons, let's talk about it. One of the greatest demons, lust, greed. You will fall to that if you do not have control over your seed. Broken families, broken homes, let's talk about it. A majority of that is lust, and that's the truth. If people who can't control their seed, can't control their lust, that is the result. So if you can control your seed, control your lust, it will help you greatly. Not only a family, because let's talk about it. You don't even have to have a family when you retain. That's not always the goal. But if you want to be better with your mindset, better in life, this can help you. As it has helped and is helping me. Is it the end all be all? No. But it is a tool that you can use to help better yourself. Because as you retain, you still have to do things that help you. Still go to the gym, of course. Still read. Still respect other people by respecting yourself. Because what we all know, the greatest respect you'll ever have is self-respect. And every time you release, you disrespect yourself and your future kids, because you're just releasing like you're not important. I can just jack off, masturbate anytime I want to. Which you can, but should you? And that's the greatest test in life. You can, but should you? So that's the video. Keep retaining, have control over the seed, that life force, great energy. Peace. Hope you enjoyed the video.